Ever wonder why a diamond costs more than water, even though water is essential to life? This question leads us straight to the heart of economics. You see, economics is not just about money. It's a social science that explores how individuals, companies, governments, and nations make choices on allocating resources to satisfy their needs and wants. At its core, economics is about dealing with scarcity. We live in a world of limited resources but unlimited desires. This scarcity is what creates value. It's why diamonds, which are rare, cost more than water, which is plentiful. Economics helps us understand how goods and services are produced, distributed, and consumed. It gives us insights into the decisions we make every day, from what we buy at the grocery store to where we invest our savings. Understanding economics equips us with the tools to make informed decisions, whether as consumers, business owners, or policymakers. Let's delve deeper into this fascinating world. Ever wondered why the price of your favorite product goes up when it becomes popular? Well, it all comes down to the fundamental economic principles of supply and demand, and how they interact with each other to determine prices in a market. Let's start with demand. Demand refers to the quantity of a product that consumers are willing and able to buy at a given price. When we say that a product is in high demand, it means that a lot of people want it and are ready to pay for it. So when the demand for your favorite product increases, more people are vying for the same product, which can drive the price up. On the other side of the coin, we have supply. Supply refers to the quantity of a product that producers are willing and able to sell at a given price. When the supply of a product is high, it means that there are plenty of those products available, which can decrease the price as producers compete to sell their goods. Now, how do these two forces interact? That's where the concept of market equilibrium comes in. Market equilibrium is the sweet spot where the quantity demanded by consumers equals the quantity supplied by producers. It's the point where the price is just right, leading to a stable market. Think of it like a seesaw. When demand is high and supply is low, the seesaw tips in favor of higher prices. When supply is high and demand is low, the seesaw tips in favor of lower prices. But when supply equals demand, the seesaw is perfectly balanced, and we have market equilibrium. But remember, markets are dynamic, always changing. The forces of supply and demand are constantly shifting, responding to new information, trends, and events. This means that the price of products and services can fluctuate over time. So when we talk about supply, demand, and market equilibrium, we're really talking about the balance that allows us to satisfy our needs and wants. Understanding these concepts can give us valuable insights into why prices change and how markets work. It's the heartbeat of economics, and it impacts everything from the price of your morning coffee to the cost of your dream house. Have you ever thought about why the government taxes certain goods and subsidies others? It's not just a whimsical decision made by politicians, but a strategic move rooted in economic theories. In economics, the government plays an essential role in shaping the economic landscape through various policies, including taxation and subsidies. Taxation, as we all know, is the act of levying taxes on goods, services, and income. But it's not just about filling the government's coffers. It's a tool used to control the economy. High taxes on certain goods like tobacco or alcohol can discourage consumers from purchasing them, thus influencing the behavior of the market. On the other hand, subsidies are financial aids given by the government to certain industries or businesses. This assistance can help them compete in the market, maintain the price of goods, and even encourage specific activities, like renewable energy production. Now let's talk about public goods. Public goods are non-excludable and non-rivalrous, meaning they are available for everyone to use, and one person's use doesn't reduce its availability to others. Street lighting is a classic example. The government often provides these goods because the private sector might not find it profitable to do so. But what happens when the market fails to allocate resources efficiently? That's what we call a market failure. This can occur for several reasons, like monopolies that control a market or external costs not considered in the price of goods, also known as externalities. The government steps in during these situations, implementing regulations to correct the market and ensure fair competition. So, whether it's through taxes and subsidies, providing public goods, or intervening in market failures, the government is like a conductor, orchestrating the symphony of economic activity. Its role is not to play every instrument, but to make sure the overall performance is harmonious and balanced. So the government plays a key role in guiding economic activity and ensuring a fair marketplace. It's not just about control, but about creating an environment where the economy can thrive and everyone gets a fair shake. Ever wondered why the cost of living keeps going up, or why some people can't find jobs? Well, we're about to tackle two economic phenomena that play a key role in these situations: inflation and unemployment. Let's start with inflation. Simply put, inflation is the rate at which the general level of prices for goods and services is rising. Picture this: you have a basket of goods that you purchase regularly. Over time, if the cost of this basket increases, we say that there's inflation. Economists measure inflation using various indices like the Consumer Price Index. It's important to note that a moderate level of inflation is considered normal in a growing economy. Now, why should you care about inflation? Well, it affects everything, from the cost of your groceries to your salary, and even the interest rates on your savings. Inflation erodes the purchasing power of money. That means with high inflation, your money buys less than it did earlier. Switching gears, let's talk about unemployment. Unemployment is when people who are actively seeking jobs can't find work. It's measured as a percentage of the total labor force, and it's considered an important economic indicator because it signals the health of an economy. High unemployment can indicate an economy in recession, while low unemployment might suggest an economy in boom. But it's not that simple. There's also something called the natural rate of unemployment, which consists of frictional and structural unemployment. Frictional unemployment is when people are between jobs or are new entrants into the job market. Structural unemployment, on the other hand, is when there's a mismatch between the skills workers have and the skills needed for available jobs. Inflation and unemployment are like two sides of an economic coin, often inversely related. This relationship is described by the Phillips curve. However, it's not always a straightforward relationship, and exceptions exist, like during periods of stagflation. Understanding inflation and unemployment helps us grasp the health of an economy and the challenges it might be facing. So the next time you ponder why your bills are increasing or why jobs seem scarce, you'll have a better idea of the economic forces at play. Have you ever heard of the term GDP and wondered what it means? Well, let's delve into it. GDP, or gross domestic product, is like the economic heartbeat of a nation. It's the total market value of all final goods and services produced within a country in a specific period. You can think of it as a giant receipt that tallies up everything a country purchases, from haircuts to skyscrapers. It's a key indicator of a nation's economic health, acting as a scorecard of the country's economic performance. If the GDP is rising, the economy is in good shape. If it's falling, it could be a sign of trouble. Now, you may have heard of nominal GDP and real GDP and wondered what the difference is. Well, it's a matter of prices. Nominal GDP is calculated using current market prices, while real GDP is adjusted for inflation. Imagine you're shopping for apples. One year, you buy 100 apples for $1 each. The next year, due to inflation, the same apples cost $2 each. If you still buy 100 apples, your nominal spending on apples has doubled, but the real quantity of apples you bought hasn't changed. Similarly, nominal GDP might increase because prices have gone up, not because the country is producing more. That's why economists often prefer to look at real GDP, as it gives a more accurate picture of economic growth, taking inflation into account. In essence, the GDP is like the economic pulse of a nation, giving us an idea of how healthy or unhealthy an economy is. It's a way of measuring economic activity and comparing the economic performance of different countries. It's a crucial tool for economists, policymakers, and investors. It helps them understand where the economy is heading, informing their decisions on everything from interest rates to investment strategies. To sum it up, GDP is more than just a number. It's an economic barometer, a measure of a nation's prosperity, and a guide to its future. So, GDP gives us a snapshot of an economy's size and health, providing insights that help us make informed decisions. So, how does understanding economics benefit you? Well, let's take a moment to recap. We've taken a journey through the world of economics, starting with the basics of supply, demand, and market equilibrium. We've seen how these three pillars interact to shape the economic landscape. We then delved into the role of government in economics, exploring how policy decisions can have far-reaching effects on the economy. We've also touched on the intricate relationship between inflation and unemployment, and how these two factors can influence each other in significant ways. And let's not forget our discussion on gross domestic product, the GDP, the measure of a nation's total economic activity. It's clear that understanding economics is key to making informed decisions, whether it's about your personal finances, your career, or even your country's policies. It's a tool that helps you navigate the complex world we live in. By understanding economics, you gain a lens through which to view and understand the world around you.